All right, that brings me to today's speaker, and I am really excited to have her here, Moira Ghallachóir. Moira shows entrepreneurs a powerful pathway to enrolling more clients, making way more money, and then having this globetrotting lifestyle without all the complicated strategies. That way, they can finally enjoy the success and the freedom that they started their business for in the first place. Moira went from being a youth worker living in London, making $30,000 a year, or I guess it would have been euros, pounds. I'm not sure what it is anymore, to becoming a business mentor and a speaker. And she's built multiple six-figure revenue in less than 3 years. Moira's captivated audiences worldwide with her powerful presentations, her retreats in Paris and New York, as well as her newest venture, a stylish secret supper style gathering for big thinking entrepreneurs to get their message out in a big way anywhere in the world. Give a great big AGC welcome to Moira Ghallachóir.
Hey, thank you so much for the introduction, Joshua. That was awesome. So yes, I'm Moira Ní Ghallachóir, and I'm really excited to be here at the AGC Talks, and I hope to be here at more of these events because I can't get enough of networking personally, and it's how I grew my business from networking at lots of events, and I'm going to share with you more about that. You know, I smile when I hear my name and my bio and being introduced to events like this because, you know, growing up, the words I heard the most were, shut up, stop talking, you've said enough now, leave the classroom. You know, by the age of 10, I used to think that speaking was this really bad thing that every time I opened my mouth, I got in trouble for it. And by the time I was 16, I went to school. I was like thinking I was cursed because I was known as the girl who talked too much. And I literally spent most of my school years standing outside the classroom door because I was in trouble for speaking. And I remember this one particular day. It was really cold. I was standing in the corridor and I was kind of like, oh, here I am again. And I heard this teacher coming and I was like, oh no, he's going to see that I'm outside for speaking too much. And I tried to hide in the doorway and I kind of crouched down like this. And he walked by and he stopped and he went, oh, there she is again, outside for talking too much. You know, Moira, you're never going to make anything of your life if all you want to do is talk. That's what he said to me. I remember standing there thinking, he's right. I'm never going to make anything of my life if all I want to do is talk. Well, thank God I didn't listen to him, because fast forward to today, I'm an international speaker and business mentor. And not only that, but I help other entrepreneurs to build a top-tier income from sales-focused speaking and a globetrotting lifestyle as well. And I'm truly on a mission to help as many entrepreneurs as I can to take the stage with a powerful message and story and, you know, really show people like who they are, because I can promise you that the connection that you can create when you get on stage and you share your story and your message would literally take you months and months and months to do online. And I don't know about you, but I don't feel like I have months and months and months to create connections. What we need is something that can help our businesses grow fast, help us make impact fast. And what I want to share with you in the time that we have is how you can use speaking to help you do that as well. So let me know in the comments if anybody are speakers here, if you're speaking already, or if you're new to speaking. And like Joshua said, I'm going to be back inside to answer questions for you as we get into this. So the first thing I want you to know is, the first thing you need to know about speaking is you've got to know where your audience is. Now, this sounds simple, but often when we start thinking about speaking, we go off on all these like complicated routes, when actually, if you think about this, your ideal clients are probably where you're hanging out. So the first thing is, where is your audience? And I can tell you that the volume and the quality of people that you now have access to is through the roof, between the virtual opportunities and now the live opportunities coming back. So thank God for that. So first of all, know where your audience is at. And the second part is, when you know where your audience is, the money and the meaning is going to be in your message. Like, it's not enough to get on stage and just start talking. You've got to speak to your audience in a way that's going to have an impact. And I've learned that the fastest way to have an impact with your audience when you get on stage is to stop talking about your process. If you're finding yourself getting into rooms or getting into conversations and you're talking to people about your process, your methods, and maybe people are not getting it, they're not understanding, it's probably because you're sharing things with them that they don't need to know. Our clients, our potential clients, all they care about is what we can make possible for them. They want to know what the outcomes are. And that doesn't make them bad people. That's just human nature. And we see the world in pictures. Like the human brain sees things in pictures, and it's very difficult for a potential client to visualize what your process is or your amazing method, but what they can visualize is themselves already experiencing the result that you can help them achieve. So you want to get obsessed with the outcomes that you help your clients achieve in your business and not hide in the details. And I think that often entrepreneurs can be a little bit, shy about tooting their own horn and talking about results. That's exactly what you want to talk about, because that's what your audiences are going to be highly attracted to. And if they think that you can help other people with those results, they're going to see that you can help them as well, right? So talk about the outcomes. Now, when I say outcomes, I'm talking about quantifiable, verifiable results, right? So like somebody could come into your business and say, oh, well, you did double your income, or you did get 3 extra clients every single month over that time. You see, I could stand on stage and I could say to people, work with me and I'll help you become a confident public speaker and speak on as many stages as possible. Or I could share, work with me, I'll help you double your profits, triple your time off, and have you speaking on worldwide stages in 6 months or less. You see, the second is the outcomes that I help people achieve. So you want to make sure that in your business, and when you speak, or even when you have a conversation, that you're leading with the outcomes. And your message should only be messaging the outcomes of what you do, not the process. If you're trying to get your customers to understand what you do, you're in trouble because they don't care. I had a client who, she was actually a fertility coach, and she was going to events and she was talking about fertility coaching and all of the things that goes along with the process, and nobody was interested. And then I showed her how to, well, why don't you start talking about helping people have the family of their dreams, and in a shorter time for less than half than what they're paying for IVF. She was like, okay. She literally went out and got 3 more clients almost instantly just from making that small change. See, often if we're obsessed with our process, then our clients are not going to fall in love with what we do because they want to fall in love with your outcomes, right? I was in Paris a couple of years ago. I lived there for 2 years, speaking on stages in Paris as well. And I remember I was hanging out with this group of Parisians, and they were great, but they were at me. They were like, Moira, I really want you to come to Kos with us. It's this really cool place. And I was like, Kos? Never heard of it. And I was almost a little bit shy, and I didn't want to ask where it was because I'm like a global traveler, and I was just like, no, I'm not really that bothered. I'm not free. I wasn't interested. And then this night they kept saying, oh, we want you to come. We want you to come. I was like, okay, so where is this place? So jump online, and I looked and I was like, I put in the word Kos, and it turned out the Kos was Corsica. I was like, instantly, I was like, Corsica? I want to go to Corsica. I literally jumped over into an airline site and booked my ticket to Corsica, even though it would cost me double if I had booked it 2 weeks before that. Right? I did it because I could see the destination. And that's what I want you to really understand. If you get up on stage to speak and you can start helping people see the results that you get, you're going to have people want to work with you even faster. Now, once you know all that, how does this actually work? Yes, Moira, I hear you talking about speaking and it sounds like a great thing. It's something I want to do. But let me share with you the actual framework for speaking that I use. Now, when most people think about speaking, they think about keynotes, which is great, but often you need to have a big profile and you need to have a lot of experience to get on those stages, and they can be highly paid, and it can take you a while to grow up to that level. There's also panel stages. There's selling from stage, where you see people doing 3-day events and selling 30, 40,000 packages. That's one way. I don't advise it in the beginning. You want to be skilled for that. You can also create your own stage, right? Where you would, put people in an event, which is actually one of the hardest and most time consuming things that you can do as an entrepreneur. So I don't really advise that. But the one way that I would advise to do, and the framework that I have used, is looking for free opportunities to speak and making a free offer from that stage. So you find an opportunity to speak that no payment is involved. Somebody else has done the work to put the people in that room. You come along and you do a presentation and you have some sort of free offer. And what you're looking for is a percentage of that room wanting to have a conversation with you at the end, right? This is the free stages method. And literally 2 years after I discovered this, and I don't know if we mentioned, but I lived in Donegal when I started, and there's a population of like 5,000 people. I was like, I'm never going to find opportunities to speak. I was shocked at how many opportunities I could find in this tiny area. So I can't even imagine how many are in America. In fact, I do know before COVID, there was 7,000 events in America every single day. That's 35,000 a week, right? And I'm going to show you now in a second how if you could find one of those opportunities on a monthly basis, how it can completely turn your business around. So the framework is you find free stages to speak and you make some sort of free offer. And you're like, yes, Moira, but that's great, but how do I make money from that? So let's say that you have a package of service. If you're a coach or a consultant, let me know in the comments if you're a coach or a consultant. And let's say you charge $7,500 for that. You speak at an event. There's like 30 people at an event, which is kind of the average size of events these days. And let's say that you got 15 people from that event interested in having a conversation with you, and you were able to create 3 clients at a 20% conversion, which is fairly low, and you had a $7,500 offer. Well, that would be 22.5K for you. Where would you get a keynote opportunity if you don't have a massive following, if you're not really well known, to be able to make that kind of money from speaking? And often entrepreneurs come to me and they're like, Moira, but how do you make 6 figures from that? Well, you do that 5 times. You find 5 places to do that, and that would create 6 figures for your business, or that would add an additional 6 figures to your business. It depends on where you are at. So just plug your own price of your product or your service into that same format. That what you're looking for is you find a room that's already filled. You don't put any energy into that. You show up, you share your message, you share your story, you invite a certain number of people to have a free session with you at the end. And what you're looking for is a conversion of at least 20% from those people. And in my experience, and with my clients' experience, getting 2 to 3 clients from rooms like that is a fairly average conversion. And if you're really good, which I'm sure some of you really are, then you can expect more than that. I've enrolled as many as 10 clients from events like this. And when I understood how this worked, I was like, oh my gosh, there are events like this literally everywhere. But there's one problem. There's one problem. I was in New York about 3 years ago now, and I was speaking at an event with Les Brown. I don't know if you're familiar with Les Brown. Great speaker. I was clearly too excited because I actually forgot my shoes. I was speaking on stage and I forgot my shoes. And I was just like, oh my God, I've got to go get my shoes. So I ran outside, I got my phone out. Everybody knows Uber, right? So I get my phone out and I'm like calling an Uber and I'm like, I need to get up to my hotel. I need to grab my shoes. I need to get back here on time. So I'm standing outside the hotel waiting for this Uber to show up. So anyway, the Uber shows up and he's like driving this really beat out Honda. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Like it was literally rickety. And I was like, I don't have time. Just take me where I want to go. So I get in the car with the guy and he's chatting away. Uber drivers, they're so friendly and chatty. Well, most of them. But anyway, this guy's chatting away. He's like, where are you from? What are you doing here? All this. And I'm telling him. And then we get to the destination and I'm like trying to get out of the car as soon as possible. I'm like, thank you so much. Bye. And he goes, excuse me, ma'am. And I said, yeah. He goes, could you give me a 5-star rating? I was like, what? He goes, can you give me a 5-star rating? I was like, why? He goes, well, did I not take you where you wanted to go? I was like, yeah. And he goes, I want to boost my score. I was like, oh, okay. So I got my phone out. I gave the guy a 5-star rating. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I did it because he asked for it. And this is the key to booking speaking engagements all over the world. Most entrepreneurs think that this is a really complicated thing, but it's not. But often people don't ask because there's a risk in asking. There's a risk that you might get rejected. There's a risk that people might say no. There's a risk that maybe they would think you weren't good enough to do it. But let me tell you, there's a bigger risk in your business. The bigger risk is that you don't find a strategy that works fast enough and is good enough to help you get the clients that you need so you can make the money that you want fast enough. That's the bigger risk. And if you can walk into any room and ask another entrepreneur or influential people like Joshua Peters, do they know of any events that you could speak at? You'll be shocked at how many people will say yes. And the 3 fastest ways to find speaking gigs is asking influential people if they know of events, going to networking events and asking everybody. However, let's say there's 30 people in this event at this event today, or maybe there's 60. That means that there's at least 30 to 60 opportunities, because everybody knows at least one opportunity or one event that there could be speakers at. And even looking at all of the events that you've been to over the last couple of years in business, do they want speakers? I bet they do. And I bet that one of those stages, if not 20 of those stages, has your name on it if you really want to do this. Now, how do you take this and travel the world? Well, the same events that are in America are in Ireland. The same events that are in Ireland are in the UK. So all you have to do is decide on where do you want to speak. I wanted to speak in New York. I found a gig in New York. I wanted to speak in Paris. I found a gig in Paris. I wanted to speak in Bali. I found a retreat to speak in Bali, right? But you decide what you want first. And that's what I love about speaking. I have not experienced anything that could grow a business as fast as speaking can. And let me tell you, if all that's standing between you and speaking is asking for the gigs, because let me tell you this, if you're invited to speak, you might be like, oh, I need to do my talk and I need to do all this. No, get the opportunity and then get ready for that specific opportunity. And if you're smart, you'll be asking Joshua today for an opportunity to speak at this. Now, if you want to know more, I've only got 15 minutes to spend with you today. And I could literally talk about this for days. So what I want to do is I want to invite the people who are really interested in how they could speak more, how they can make more money and travel the world with speaking. Check out the Speak More, Make More challenge. It's my way of giving everybody the tools that they need in order to speak on stages worldwide, understand how to make money, and then have this system in their business that they can repeat. That is not complicated, that is so much fun, and again, can help you have the lifestyle of your dreams. So check it out. It's a free training. There's also a VIP opportunity there as well. I'm going to be around for the rest of this event. Thank you so much, Joshua, for having me. And I hope this was of value for you. Again, it was a 15-minute laser training. There's so much more. So please ask your questions. I'll hang around and I'll make sure I answer them all. Thank you so much.